Hello students, let's get started on your math lesson. This is 8th grade math, Unit 3, Lesson 10. Dun dun dun! Calculating slope from 2 points. So in today's lesson, you're going to find ways to calculate the slope of a line just with 2 coordinate points, not even using a graph. I'll show you that down below in the lesson. First, let's warm up. Read the directions. Find the values for A and B that make each side have the same value. Okay, pause this video and I want you to try that on your own first. Did you try it or are you confused? Yeah, what does it mean? Make each side have the same value? Yeah, it means, in the first one for number 1, A divided by B is one side, and negative 2 is the other side. It means side of the equal sign. So each side of the equal sign has the same value. In other words, A divided by B equals negative 2. What are values for A and B such that A divided by B equals negative 2? Well, let's just try something. I don't know. How about A equals 25 and B equals 5? Is 25 divided by 5 equal to negative 2? No, it's equal to 5. So those values do not work. Let's try some other values. What values can you think of? I know. How about we say, let's just say A equals 20. Then, if B equals negative 10, there, 20 divided by negative 10 equals negative 2. So these can be possible values of A and B. Those are just one set of possible values for A and B, but there are many. How about A equals negative 18? Then B must equal 9 because negative 18 divided by 9 equals negative 2. Here's another idea. How about A equals 52? Then B must equal negative 26 because 52 divided by negative 6 equals negative 2. Now, these are some of my ideas. I want you to answer your ideas. What values could A and B be such that A divided by B equals negative 2? And then I want you to do it again for number 2, such that A divided by B equals positive 2. So you should tell me what A equals and what B equals. Let's try number 3 together. Now, A minus B is going to equal negative 2. So what if I just said, I don't know, how about A equals 18? How about that? And then minus B, what is B going to be such that 18 minus B is going to equal negative 2? 18 minus what equals negative 2? I got it. B equals 20. 18 minus 20 equals negative 2. Ding, 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 ding. I got it. It doesn't even have to be that hard, though. It could be A equals 0. B equals 2. And then 0 minus 2 equals negative 2. That's another possibility right there. Let me try another one. How about A equals negative 10? And then we subtract a negative 8. So A equals negative 10 and B equals negative 8. Does that equal negative 2? Yes, because when you subtract a negative number, it's like adding the number. So negative 10 minus negative 8 is the same as negative 10 plus 8, and that equals negative 2. Okay, I've given you some examples, but you can answer something that's different than my answer because there are many possibilities of A and B such that A minus B equals negative 2. I'm going to keep going, but you need to pause it and do your work. So go back and do that before you move on. Okay, the next question is the heart and soul of this lesson. Pay attention here. You don't want to miss this. Okay, number 1 says, plot the points 1, 11, and 8 and 2, and use a ruler to draw the lines that passes through them. Well, before I even plot them, I have to remind you something that I always forgot when I was a student, which is the x coordinate comes before the y coordinate. Don't forget. So even, I'm going to go so far as to label these. Let's call this x1, and this is y1. And the other point here, this is x2, and this is y2. Okay, got it? That's going to help us keep it straight. So x1 equals 1, and y1 equals 11. There's the first point on the graph. x2 equals 8, and y2 equals 2. There's the next point on the graph. So over here we have x1, y1, and down here we have x2, y2. And those labels are going to help me a lot with what I want to teach you in this lesson. Okay, use a ruler to draw a line through the points and show me an exactly straight line, please. Make sure your work is neat and complete, as straight as you can make it. Okay, number 2. Without calculating, do you expect the slope of the line through 111 and 82 to be positive or negative? How can you tell? I want you to write your answer down here, but I should have left a little more space when I printed this page. Sorry about that. You can write your answer on the side. Number 2, I expect the slope to be negative because the line is going down. Okay, simple enough, right? It's going down. It's pointed down, it's decreasing. However you want to say it, it shows me that we're going to have a negative slope. Number 3, calculate the slope of this line. Okay, here's where I'm going to give an introduction to a way to calculate slope without drawing the slope triangle. But I am going to use the slope triangle to lead into the new way. So when you draw the slope triangle, you can see the change in y and the change in x. Change in y, the change in y goes from y equals 11 to y equals 2. So I'm going to write that down. The change in y is from 11 to 2. So 11 minus 2 gives you that value, right? It's a change in y of 9. And I can even write that down. We can count and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But what if you only had the coordinates and you didn't see the graph? Then you'd have to say, oh, 11 minus 2, that's 9. That's a difference equal to 9. And then what if you couldn't see the graph? How do you know the change in x? Well, you'd look and you'd say, oh, well, x went from 1 to 8. So that's a difference of, you have to subtract things to get the difference, right? If you add things together, you don't find the difference. But if you subtract things, you find the difference. So what I did here, and this is really important, is I started from one point and I subtracted the values at the other point. I started from x1, y1, and I subtracted the values of x2, y2. So I'm even going to draw that on here. This is x1, and this is y1. And this is x2, and this is y2. And what's really important is that you keep, however you did it. If it's x1, I wrote it wrong on there. Hold on a second. I wrote it wrong. Wait a second. I wrote this wrong, and I'm going to write it again, and you need to erase it on your notes, okay? Sorry. This is not X. This is Y. I have it backwards. There we go. Sorry. I've made this video 3 times because I just can't do this while I'm talking. Embarrassing. Very embarrassing. This is Y1. See? Y1 equals 11. Okay. This is Y2. See? Y2 equals 2. Phew. And then this is X1. See? X1 equals 1. And this is X2. Now I got it. And you can see that right here. X2 equals 8. So here's what I was trying to say before I screwed myself up, is that you have to keep it straight. If you have Y1 here, you need X1 here. You've got to keep those straight. If you have Y2 here, you need X2 here. Don't get your points confused. You can start here and finish here, but don't get it confused. So start here for X and finish here. Start here for Y and finish here. Do not under any circumstances, never start here and then go the wrong direction for the Y's. Never do that. It's in red because it's wrong. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the math now. Let me get back to a color I can be proud of. There we go. 11 minus 2 is 7. 1 minus 8 is negative 7. So what is the slope? Negative 1. I'm going to double check that. 11 minus 2. So the change in, oh, it's not 7, it's 9. I felt like I was making a mistake. 9. I just can't do this and talk at the same time. You should tell me if you see mistakes that I don't catch. 11 minus 2 is 9. 1 minus 8 is negative 7. So our slope is, I'm going to move the negative sign up top, negative 9 over 7. Ding, 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 ding. And what we have learned, what we have just solved, what we have just derived is a new way to find the slope. If you only have the coordinates, then slope equals y1 minus y2 divided by x1 minus x2. And guess what? What if you wanted to say that this is 2 and this is 1? What if you switch the points around? Or what if you want to change it? It says y1 minus y2. What if you want y2 minus y1? And you want x2 minus x1? Yes, you can do it that way as well. Both of these give you the same value for slope. Dun, 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 dun. I'm going to show it to you. Now, the first time I calculated the slope, I went from here to here, right? Okay, I'm going to clear everything. And I'm going to calculate slope using my formula, but I'm going to go the other way. So here was the first point. And the next point was 8 to here. And let me draw the line again. Now let's calculate slope going the other direction using my formula. So the change in y is going to be from here, y equals 2, to here, y equals 11. So 2 minus 11. This is what I'm doing. I'm doing y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And this is the equation for slope. As long as you have the y2, x2 and the x1, y1 in the same positions, that's important. Do not go y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. Oops, I mean x1 minus x2. Do not. This is the wrong position. Okay, that makes an x. That means it's wrong. X means wrong. So as I was saying, we're going to go from y2, which is from here, to y11. So 2 minus 11, and then x, the change in x is going to be 8 minus 1. And look what it gives you. 2 minus 11 is negative 9. So the 9 is the same, but the negative is different. And 8 minus 1 is 7. Wait a second. I was changing this around. Why didn't that give me a different answer? I went from y equals 2 minus y equals 11. And then x. Oh, yes. I went from the same points to the same points. That's what I was showing you. Yes, yes, yes. X equals 8 to x equals 1. So I went from here, both of these here, to here, which is both of these here. So I kept it straight, and I got the same negative 9 over 7 answer. Phew, this one is hard for me to explain while I'm speaking. So here's what you need to do. You need to try it yourself. You absolutely have to try it yourself. Write down this formula on your paper. You have to know this formula forever. So write it down now and memorize it. Slope equals y2 minus y1, that's the change in y, divided by x2 minus x1, the change in x. And here's what's important. When you put your points on the line, do not get them confused. Do not confuse your points, okay? You must keep it the same, like here. x2, y2. Just write that on your paper so that you know what you're doing. x1, y1. If you label your points, it'll help you keep it straight. Then you can find the slope of the line between those points. Pause the video and do it yourself using the points they gave you in the problem. Now I'm going to keep going. It says, find the value of k so that the line passing through each pair of points has the given slope. Okay, let's do it. Now you can't even see the line. You have to find the value of k. You must use this equation that I just taught you. The change in y as y2 minus y1 over the change in x, x2 minus x1. That's slope. You must use this. Let's try it out. So we are solving for k so that our line has a slope of 2. This k, let's call that x2. And so the 2 is y2. Okay, we're going to call that our second coordinate point. And then this is our first coordinate point. So x1 and y1. Okay, we're going to put those numbers into this equation. Starting with y2. y2 minus y1. Well, y2 is 2. y1 is 14. So it's 2 minus 14. Just like our equation, I'm substituting in the numbers. Over x2 is the k minus x1. x1 is equal to 11. And they said the slope equals 2. So all of that equals 2. What is the value of k? All right, I'm going to simplify this. 2 minus 14 is negative 12. Let me write that down. So this is negative 12 divided by k minus 11 equals 2. What could possibly be a value of k? Well, we need something down here. We need something down here that negative 12 divided by this something equals 2. How about negative 12 divided by 4 equals 2? No, negative 12 divided by 4 equals 3. So that won't work. Then what? I know. Negative 12 divided by negative 6 equals 2. Right? We want a 2, so negative 12, this must equal negative 6. what we need is a value for k such that k minus 11 equals negative 6. So what can that be? What can this value of k be? You remember in the 7th grade when you solved for an equation with one variable like this? Here's what you do. You can add 11 to both sides. Then negative 11 plus 11 cancels it out. And what you get is k equals negative 6 plus 11, that's 5. K equals 5. If we have k equals 5, then 5 minus 11 equals negative 6. Then negative 12 minus negative 6 equals 2. Let me prove it to you. Just forget about that. I'm still on this one here. So let's do it. Remember, this is our equation for slope that we found. Let's put in 5. So 2 minus 14, I'm going to do it right down here. 2 minus 14 is negative 12. And then 5 minus 11 equals 2. Let's check this. There we go. We get negative 12 over 5 minus 11 is negative 6. Negative 12 divided by negative 6 equals 2. Ding, 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 ding. Phew, we got it. The value for k must be 5. Let me say that again. The value for k must be equal to 5 in order to have a slope of negative 2. Pause the video and try it on your own. Let me help you with the next one too. I know this is pretty confusing stuff. Actually, you know what? I'm going to just skip because it's laying on my paper kind of strange. Let's try this one. Number 3. Find a value for k so that the slope equals negative 1. Hold on a second. I know what I want to do. Let me just... Oh, what am I doing? I said I know what I wanted to do. I want to insert some lines, but it looks like I'm on editing mode, and that is not what I want. Oh, I'm on suggesting mode. There we go. Oh, I've made a mistake again. Editing. Okay, now I can put in some lines to clear some space. Okay, now we have some room to work. There we go. Okay, so what will the value of k be so that the slope equals 1/2? Well, let's go right back to our formula. You're going to need this. This formula for slope needs to always be written on your paper, pretty much all the time from now on. So you better memorize this. And it's simple. Y minus y over x minus x. Okay, that's easy, but you got to now remember your subscripts. If there's a 2 here, then there's a 2 here. If there's a 1 here, then you need to keep a 1 here. Now, don't ever forget that. It's always going to help you. So we're going to have... Let's call this y2. Let me write this better. We're going to call this y2 is k, x2 is 9, and then, oh, I put it backwards. See, I just can't do this while I'm talking. What was my mistake? I forgot to write this on my paper. X first, y second. Okay, try that again. So this is x2, and this is y2, and this is x1, and this is y1. Now I'm going to put those values into this equation. y2 is 9 minus y1 is 5 over x2 is k minus x1 is equal to 3. And that must equal 1/2. So what is the value of k so that the slope equals 1/2? Oh, it's hard, isn't it? Well, 9 minus 5, that's 4. Just a second, I'd like to actually change my color. I need to do this step by step so you can follow it. And that's not easy for me, but changing the color helps. 9 minus 5 equals 4. And then that's going to be k minus 3 equals 1/2. So I want you just to put parentheses here. Put parentheses around that. And then just think of this as the denominator. Whatever this is, it's the denominator. So 4 divided by the denominator equals 1/2. So what does the denominator need to be? It needs to be twice as big as 4 in order for it to equal 1/2. For example, 4 divided by 8 equals 1/2, right? So this denominator needs to equal 1/2. I'm going to move over here. Equal 1/2. I mean equal to 8. It must equal to 8. So let me move this over here. K minus 3. Now just look at this part. K minus 3 equals 8. What minus 3 equals 8? Is it 7 minus 3 equals 8? No. How about 2 minus 3 equals 8? No. Did you get it? No, that's not even it. I didn't even get it. Hold on. Something minus 3. Oh, I know. It's 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm going to use a little number line to help me get that. There we go. So if I have 11 minus 3, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, then that is 8. A number line can help you. 11 minus 3, 8. There, I got it. So k must equal 11. Let's double check. I'm going to change my color, and I'm going to double check. So this is our original thing. Slope equals 1/2. Basically, this says the slope equals 1/2. Well, let's put in 11, because I found that k needs to equal 11. Let's put in 11 for k and see what we get. 9 minus 5 was 4. And then 11 minus 3, that equals 4 over 11 minus 3 was 8. Yes, that equals 1/2. Okay, I did it. Ding, 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 ding. Congratulations, Cindy. K equals 11. Phew. Okay, I helped you with number 1 and number 3. And it's not perfectly simple, but I have to let you try things on your own. So I want you to try them on your own and finish all 5 of those. Sorry about that. It'll be a good idea to check with a friend. So later on, check your paper with a friend. Maybe before you turn it in to me, get together with a friend, okay? I'm trying to put this page back together. There we go. Okay, let's keep going. This is the summary. You can read that on your own. I don't have to keep taking up your time. I'll let you read that on your own. But what it's teaching you, I'll just summarize the summary. It says that you can calculate the slope from the coordinates of any 2 points using the formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And I showed you how we got that. You can use this formula, or it is exactly the same if you say y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. This is exactly the same. So it's telling you it doesn't matter if you're using this point first and then this point or vice versa, but you have to know which one you're using first and which one you're using second. Okay, good job, guys. Get to work on your stuff.